Severance fans are used to the confined office walls and hallways that serve as the only home for the severed employees inside Lumen. But right away, the latest episode of Season 2, Woe's Hollow, changes the landscape completely. That becomes clear when Irving, John Turturro, wakes up completely alone on a giant slab of ice in the middle of nowhere. He soon comes across fellow employees Mark, Adam Scott, Dylan, Zach Cherry, and Helly, Britt Lower, secretly Helena, her Audi, as they traverse snowy and icy forests on a mysterious work retreat organized by Mr. Milchick, Trammell Tillman, production designer Jeremy Hindle, who also worked on the first season along with Zero Dark 30 and Top Gun. Maverick describes Woe's Hollow as the most challenging episode of the season because they shot all the exteriors on location. He spent around 20 days hiking with scouts in upstate New York at different elevations, ultimately deciding on locations like Awasting Falls for the waterfall set climax and the Minnewaska State Park Preserve for the tent and trekking scenes. The goal was to find all these different locations that were visually really different, so it looked like they'd walked a long way. Hindle tells Variety, "When scouting, you're going out for full days where you just hike and hike because a lot of these areas weren't accessible by car. In certain areas, you had to hike for 5 miles to see it and realize we can't actually get there." Hindle says the changing weather conditions were a nightmare for finding locations they could feasibly film in. "We got the most mind-blowing amount of snow at the beginning of the shoot, and then it all got really hot and melted, and we were shooting with zero snow," he recalls. The crew used machines to ice up the trees and place snow on the ground for the actors' walk on, with around 70% of the snow in the final cut having to be CGI. But the crew won out when shooting Irving's dream sequence, featuring him in a Lumen office set up perched on top of a steep mountain, filmed day for night in a burned forest around Sam's Point. Luckily, it just pounded snow. "We shot it in an afternoon for real, with this beautiful desk in the middle of this crazy field. It almost looks like it's underwater. We were trying to create something that was really surreal,"